Okay folks, MBS. I'm going to be doing a hydraulic lifter adjustment on this Chevrolet V8 HG Monaro for you, and I'm going to be using a unique method to do it. I'm not going to be turning this engine over 8 times or 16 times like some of the other methods that you use, like the overlap method or the ICEO. I don't know why people use that ICEO. I keep harping on it. It's a long way to do it and a lot of hard work. We're going to be using the top dead center method, the method they use for doing diesels. Yeah, you put it on top dead center, you work out which one is on compression and which one's on overlap, which I'll show you in a minute, and you just set half your valves straight up on that position, and then you rotate it 360 degrees and you set the remaining 8 valves, easy as, and you have to turn the engine twice. And if you've seen my video, you see the camshaft here that I drew up, we are setting the tappets on the base circle of the camshaft. That's that 180 degree portion away from the lobe. Doesn't matter where the lifter is sitting, anywhere on that base circle you can adjust the tappets, yeah? That's a fact. So, in a V8, somewhere along the line there are 8 valves or hydraulic lifters that are sitting on the base circle in that 180 degree base circle that I've drawn here. So we can do 8 of them. Easy as, isn't it? No mucking around looking what the valves are doing or any of the crap like that, or following the rotor button around. It's just so easy. Now we need to determine, I've got it on top dead center right now, but I don't know whether I've got it compression number 1 or I've got it compression number 6. Alright, now on my website I printed this out from my website, just took a screenshot. These are the 2 firing orders for the Chevy. One's a 4/7 swap, which we're not interested in, and the top one will tell you what valves or what lifters you have to adjust when it's on top dead center, compression number 1. That's the top line. Okay, so obviously we're going to set number 1. We can set both those valves because it's on compression, so both valves are shut. But on every other cylinder we can either set an inlet or an exhaust, because the hydraulic lifter will be on the base circle. Okay? Pretty easy to understand that. Alright, if you haven't seen my 4 positioning methods video, or me even drawing that camshaft up, have a look at them. It's very informative. I'm surprised I haven't had too many hits on that subject, but very informative, and it's factually based, and it proves that this method actually works on V8s as well. Alright, so we're going to be using directly off this what we're going to be doing and which valve we're going to be adjusting. So we're on top dead center. We're going to have just a quick look at the distributor and see whether we're on number 1 or number 6. Get the covers off, and then we will mark the valve so we know which is an inlet, which is an exhaust, because that can be a bit confusing for some people. So we'll come back in a minute and have a look at that. Well, surprise, surprise, we have roller rockers. I wasn't expecting that. I thought they'd just be normal rocker arms. But hey, much to muchness, we just got posi locks to do instead of just a normal lock nut. Now, for you guys that don't know what valve is what, I would mark your valve. Mark your exhausts or inlets, whichever you prefer. It's easy enough. You've got an exhaust pipe right here. That's got to be an exhaust valve, yeah? So let's put a little mark on that. We know the next one's got to be an inlet. It can't be an exhaust, there's no pipe there. Next one's an inlet as well, no exhaust pipe. Then we've got the exhaust pipe. So we'll mark that one. Okay, and the one next to it's an exhaust, because the 2 exhausts are at the centre. Okay, then we've got 2 inlets, and then we have an exhaust. Okay, so do that on the other side as well. Mark those, and then you know which valve you're looking at, yeah? Alright. Now, according to my diagram on my website, we are on compression number 6. The rotor button is pointing over at number 6 cylinder. So we're going to start on the bottom line that I've got on my website, and you can see straight away number 1 will be on overlap if number 6 is on compression. So number 2 we're going to be setting an exhaust, number 3 an inlet, number 4 an inlet, 5 an exhaust, then number 6, which is on compression, we'll be doing inlet and exhaust, 7 exhaust, 8 inlet. And that's the valves we're going to set first time round. When we rotate it 360 degrees, we then have it on top dead center compression number 1, and then we set the valves that are all written up the top there. Alright, let's run through a couple. You should know your cylinder numbering sequence too, yeah? Okay, which is number 1? Well, the easiest way to tell, even with the tappet cover off, which tappet cover is the furthest forward. Okay, whichever that one is, that's the side that you've got as number 1. So this is number 1, I've got the spanner on. And we're not going to be setting that one because we're on compression number 6. So we want to do number 2. So which is number 2? The cylinder firing sequence is not the firing order, but the way they're laid out here is 1, 3, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 8 across the other side. So number 2 is going to be the forward cylinder on the other side, and we want to set an exhaust, which is our yellow mark. Yeah. Okay, so that's the one we're going to be setting. Okay, we'll back off the lock nut quite a bit. We'll back off the adjuster until we get this very loose, and then we will start tightening this up. And the reason you take the lock nut right out is when you're turning this around, the lock nut is going to drive down with it. So if you haven't backed it off enough, it is going to interfere with you adjusting it properly. So make sure you have got it loose. And here we go, it's loose. I'm going to use the push rod turning method to determine whether I've got zero lash. And there we have it, right there. Okay, now we're going to not lock it up yet. What do we got to do? Half, 3/4 of a turn further from zero lash. So let's get the spanner up there, and then we'll go half, 3/4, and then we'll lock it up. And lock it up good and tight so they don't come loose. If you've got something better than an Allen key, like a socket hex key, and you've got a ratchet, that'll even be better to do this up even tighter. Do it up real tight. And that is one hydraulic lifter adjusted, right? Okay, we've done number 2, now we're going to do number 3. We're going to set an inlet this time. So number 3 is 1, 3. We're going to be setting that inlet valve. See how easy that is?
Too easy.
Oh, too easy, yeah. Not anywhere near hard enough. So we've got that loose now. Just spin the push rod. Yeah, I've already done it up 1/4. And right there. So now we do it up another 3/4. Half, 3/4. When you're doing up the lock nut, make sure you hold the adjuster nut still. Because if the adjuster nut moves with it, so will your adjustment of the lifter. I mean, you've got a little bit of room to play with there. Like if it moves 1/8 of a turn, so you've just done it up 1/8 of a turn past 3/4, so not a real big deal. But if you're a bit pedantic, that's 3 inlet. Alright guys, look, I'm not going to go through all of them, it's just going to take so long to do. But you saw me do the first 2. I did number 2, I've done number 3. I don't think you've seen me do number 4, maybe. I can't remember what I filmed because the camera's playing up a bit. But I've struck them off the sheet. I don't know if you can see that yellow tick that I've put in there. Once I've set that particular valve, I've struck it off here so I don't accidentally do it again at the wrong time. So you just follow what's on my website, okay? This isn't on YouTube, it's only on my website. I might put a copy of this across the bottom or top of the screen for you. You can have a look at and write down. But that's the valves you adjust according to this sheet, okay, when it's on top dead centre. Now remember, I was on compression number 6, so we did the bottom line first. That's what we're working on. After I've set the final one, number 8 inlet, then I crank the engine over 360, and then I set the remaining ones on the top line. Okay, it's very, very easy to follow. So 2 turns of the crank, job done. All right. Now, one thing I should mention, you saw me turning the push rod in this one, rather than feeling up and down movement. The reason I did that is because the lifters are solid, okay? They're full of oil, they haven't decompressed, or some have decompressed, but the ones I'm checking, there's no movement in it, so it's nice and solid. You'll get the feel on the push rod. If they're brand new lifters, like a brand new build, you can't turn the push rod really to do zero lash. If you've got the intake manifold off, well, you can actually see the hydraulic lifter. You can see the push rod pushing the plunger in. And zero lash is, don't push that plunger in. You're just taking up zero clearance, and then you do it the half or 3/4 of a turn, whatever your preference is. All right, so that's why I was using the push rod method, because the lifters were already tight, so I can feel it as soon as I get to zero lash. All right, so just remember, mark your valves so you know which one you're looking at. For the novices, the people that are more skilled will know what's an inlet, what's an exhaust, so you shouldn't get into too much drama there. And just follow my sheet. Now remember, I've got the firing order sitting up there, but the cylinder that you're actually doing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that's the cylinder you're actually adjusting. All right, so I've given it the actual number, so it's not follow the firing order across here. I've calculated everything to suit the cylinder number. All right, so you can't go wrong. Quick, easy method to do the tappets, yeah? And don't forget to do it up that half, 3/4 of a turn when you're finished from zero lash, and make sure you do that lock nut off tight. All right, I mean tight. All right, they do come loose, and you've really got to be able to do them up tight. And as I said, if you've got a socket, a hex socket with the key in it, that's much better than an Allen key itself. You can do it up a lot tighter. I could put a spanner around the Allen key as extra leverage, allow me to tighten it, but you'll see that the Allen key actually bends. All right, that's how tight I've got it. I'm actually bending the Allen key to do it up. All right, guys, we'll come back to this a little later once I start her up. Houston, we have a problem. These rocker arms are no good. Cheap Chinese junk. I'll do a review on them later. But as you can see there, I don't know if you can see that, the belly of the rocker arm has been hitting on the cylinder head. This has got standard studs, so it's not as if it's got a jam nut fitted, and this is just sitting on the jam nut. No, it's actually touching the casting on the cylinder head, so can't use them. Okay, I can't get to half, 3/4 of a turn because they're already hitting, and they're only 1/8 of a turn down. So yeah, no good. We'll throw them away. We've got them all off now. So we're going to turn this lesson into something even better than before. Like before we discovered that, we were doing the top dead center method, yeah. So we were showing you which rockers to go by straight off this sheet. We've got a couple done, and you should have been able to follow it from there. Now what we're going to simulate is building an engine, all right? So we've got all the rockers, these rockers are all off now, and we've just got the push rod sitting in there, blank head. I've got a couple of the new rockers that we're fitting already sitting there. We'll get to that in a minute. And we'll have a look at it and see how I go about using the top dead center method to fit a full set of rockers and adjust them. Here we are. New engine rebuild, we've got the first set of rockers on as per the instructions here. That we're doing the bottom line, top dead center, compression number 6. So all these valves here are getting rockers put on them. So we've got the rockers, we've got the ball on, all lubricated. Now we'll just put the nuts on and we'll adjust them just like we did before, using the finger method to 0 lash, and then we'll turn the nut down 3/4 of a turn, easy as. When we get to the second half, we'll go into that a little bit more detail. There we go, that has just nipped it, and there's very little movement in it. 3/4 of a turn. Half, 3/4. One rocker adjusted, plenty of room under the belly. So we've got no problems. Just do that for everything that's there. All the rockers are already fitted. Do that, exactly what I've done there. 0 lash, extra 3/4 of a turn, and you're laughing. We'll come back to it when I'm ready to fit the other set of rockers. Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but I thought I should let you know that the next minute and a half isn't going to sound too great. I had a bit of an audio malfunction, and I'm trying to correct it now in the video editing software, but I just can't do anything with it. So we'll just have to put up with the hissing and the strange noises in the background. There's nothing I can do about it, but I didn't want to trash the whole project because of this next 90 seconds worth. That's the way it is, I'm sorry. Thanks for putting up with it, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, we've fitted the first 8. We've rotated the engine now 360 degrees. It's back on the top dead center mark, so we are now compression number 1. And don't need this anymore really, because now we've got our 8 rockers on, we've just got to fill up the blank spaces here. So that's no use to us anymore. We're done with that. What I like to do now is, rather than fit all the rockers on like I did for the first 8, if I put all the rockers on, all the nuts on, and the bolting boards, it wouldn't be hard to get confused with which one am I adjusting. So I'm going to fit them on one at a time. Yeah, there's plenty of spaces there. We just put one on an empty space, adjust it, go and get another rocker and fill it up that way. Okay. When we're done, they're all set and dusted, done and dusted. We can put the covers on. Probably throw a little bit of oil, extra oil down in the falcons to start off with until it fires up and gets oil lubrication. And trumpets are done, guys. Easy as that. And I've only had to turn the engine over, well, once to initially put it on top dead center, and I've only had to turn it over once to put the next 8 rockers on. Easy. Alright, so on she goes, and I'll continue on from there, and I'll do these rockers one at a time until they're all done and dusted. We're going to put the leads back on now and fire it up. Put a couple of pumps into it, maybe a bit of choke. Okay, alright, yep. Okay guys, that's the end of this video. How to do hydraulic lifters using the top dead center method. We've shown you 2 circumstances that this is great for. Probably the best one is when you're rebuilding the motor. You saw how I only had to turn the engine over once I set it up at top dead center the first time. And we just had to follow just one line, just to get the rockers on initially, the first 8 rockers on. And then we didn't need the sheet after that. But if we were adjusting those black Chinese rollers, we would have required the entire sheet if we could have gone right through and adjusted every one of them before we struck that problem with the belly hitting the cylinder head. Never mind, we'll do a review on that shortly. So, top dead center method, great little method to, well, especially for mechanics. I mean, even for the novice, this is so simple. And I've seen a lot of videos on Facebook and YouTube showing you how to do hydraulic lifters, and you have to know what you're doing, okay? At least this cheat sheet, or they call it a cheat sheet, you know exactly which hydraulic lifter you're adjusting at what time when it's on top dead center, compression either number 1 or number 6. Now, this works for any engine, not just the Chevy. I just happen to have the Chevy to do it on. It works for Ford, Holden, doesn't matter, 4 cylinders, 6 or 8, doesn't matter. I've got them all on my website, all the valves you have to adjust when you're on top dead center, either the number 1 or the opposing cylinder that's also on top dead center. Alright, so I've done all the hard work for you, written it all out. All you've got to do is print it. I may even try and turn these tables into a PDF so you can actually download them rather than do a screenshot to get this, is what I had to do to get this one. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope this hasn't turned out to be too long during post-edit, but that's the way it is if it is, and I'll catch you in another video.